Get ready with me while I tell you how my boyfriend of 2.5 years cheated on me and dumped me while I was 3,000 miles away in New York. Currently getting ready for school, but I need to get this story off my chest so I don't have to ever think about it again. So basically, I went to New York to study in America, like for my school, last week of winter break. And during that time, my boyfriend went on tour because he's in a band. While they were on tour, him and I were like chill, whatever. On Tuesday, he decided that he didn't want to be with me anymore that night. I told him, I was like, if you're gonna break up with me, then don't say it over text and make me think that you're gonna do it and then say that you don't want to. So do it, you know? And he was just going back and forth the whole time on if he wanted to actually do it or not. But eventually he was like, yeah, I think it's best. And I was like, okay, actually don't. We need to talk about this, give me a chance, yada yada yada. And he was just basically like, no. And I was like, oh, okay. Wednesday I told him, I was like, actually no, it doesn't work like that. It's not that simple because we live together and have a cat together. And we have a whole life together when we come back home. Let's wait until Sunday to talk about it and then we can figure it out from there. Yeah, at first he was like, no, I'm gonna commit to my decision. And I was like, please, I started begging him. I told him everything. I was like, think about our future, everything that we have together, you can't just give that up, you know? Then he was like, that's a lot, let me think about it. He said, I need time to think and reflect. And I was like, okay, period. In my mind, I'm like, he's gonna think about it. There's a chance, you know? Once he said that, I was like, okay, do you want to say good morning and good night? I love you. And I'll give you your space besides that. And he was like, yeah. We agreed to do that. And then that night, I went to a Harry Potter show, a Broadway show. He literally texted me while I was there and said, hey, just so you know, the other show's gotten canceled. So after the Arizona show tonight, we're gonna come home. And I was like, okay, period. But I was sorry that show got canceled. But I'm also in my mind, I'm he texted me. He texted me first, you know? And so I'm we're good. It'll be okay. That same night, I texted him when I was going to bed and I was like, good night, I love you. And he said, good night, I love you too. And then I went to bed and he had a show that night. And then I woke up the next morning and I saw that his phone had died on Live 360. I texted him, good morning, I love you. It went through. But then I saw on Live 360 that his phone had died. I didn't want to freak out. I didn't want to cause a panic and then he get upset because I was being too much. I don't know. So I didn't say anything and I was I'm just gonna give him time to respond. Hours passed by and he doesn't respond. And so I checked Live 360 again. It still says his phone's dead. So I text his mom and I'm like, oh my god. Hey, is he good? Is his phone dead for you also? And she was like, yeah, it is. And I was like, okay, so maybe he's not good. What's going on, you know? What's up here? After giving him a few hours to respond and him not responding, I decided to call the lead singer of the band. And I was like, hey, is he good? I'm just concerned on if he's okay. And he was like, yeah, he's fine. He went out to breakfast a couple hours ago. I was like, sorry, what? He went out to breakfast a couple hours ago? And he's like, yeah, with this person. And I was like, oh, okay. He didn't text me back, but okay. I checked Live 360 again, and then it says his location was turned off at 2 in the morning, my time. And I was like, oh, okay. Something fishy's going on now. I didn't even think anything of it until he lied. Once I saw that, I tried calling my boyfriend. It immediately declined. So I called the singer again, and I'm like, hey, are you sure his phone isn't dead? Are you sure? And he was like, I don't know about his phone, but I know that he went out with this person a couple hours ago. One of the people from the band, the person driving them around. And I was like, okay. While I was on the phone with him, my boyfriend texted me, and he was like, hey, sorry, I just woke up. Sorry, what? Because I just heard that you were out getting food. I was like, oh, so we're lying now, okay. I tried calling him when he texted me that. He's like, I can't talk right now. And I was like, no, you need to pick up. This is urgent, you need to pick up. And eventually he picks up the phone. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, what do you mean? I just woke up. And I was like, no, you didn't. I just talked to the lead singer. He told me that you are freaking out at breakfast. And then he switches up immediately. He's like, I'm sorry. I don't want to hurt you. And I was like, what are you saying? What do you mean you don't want to hurt me? What are you talking about? And he's like, I just don't want to hurt you. And I'm like, spit it out. You don't want to hurt me. What'd you do? He was like, I'm out with blank and 2 girls. And I was like, okay, so you cheated on me. He was like, what are you talking about? I didn't cheat on you. We're not together. I was like, oh. I was like, we're not together? Really? Because you told me that you loved me last night. I'm all over your Instagram. But you said that you needed time to think and reflect about your decision. Okay. After that, I said did you hug or kiss or I don't know. And he was like, I hugged one of them. And in my mind, I'm trying to salvage this, right? Because we live together. We have a cat together. That's okay. We can talk about it. It'll be fine. And he was like, I can't talk. I have to go. You just told me that you cheated on me and now you have to leave. And he was like, I have to go. And I'm like, we're not together. Okay. And then I hung up on him because he just kept saying, I have to go, I have to go, I have to go. After that, I was like, something's still fishy, like something's not right. So I DM the lead singer's girlfriend on Instagram, and God bless her soul, I wish her nothing but the best, and I hope that everything good in the world comes her way. Because I asked her, I was like, hey, like, do you know anything about what happened last night? I think my boyfriend cheated on me. And she was like, Haley girl, like, I'm gonna be so real with you. And she sent me this long ass thing, and I was like, oh, here we go, period, like, let's do it. So I read it, and it basically just says that, like, the guy he was hanging out with, blank, his ex-girlfriend went to the show and brought some of her friends. After the show, his ex-girlfriend and her friends went back to the guy's hotel and hung out with them. Eventually they kicked them out, but at like 4 in the morning, my boyfriend and his friend went to the girl's apartment and stayed the night. I was like, oh, so he like actually cheated on me. Like, I tried calling him, he didn't answer, and so then I texted him, I was like, pick up, and then I call him. I'm like, did you sleep with her? And he's like, Haley, what are you talking about? And I was like, I know exactly what happened. Like, did you sleep with her? He's like, no, I didn't. And I'm like, what do you mean you didn't? He's like, yes, like, I'm serious. Like, it was super late at night, and like, we literally just went to their place, hung out, and then went to bed. Do you think I'm an idiot? He's like, why don't you just like trust what I'm saying? And I was like, because you've lied to me this entire day so far. Like, what do you mean? After that, I like went off on him. Like, if you were unhappy, you could have just said so. Once I said that, he was just, all he said was, okay, like, I'm done talking about this right now. And I was like, okay, yeah, bye. And I like hung up. And then at that point, like, I deleted everything off my Instagram, whatever. And, like, he was home the next 2.5 days afterwards, talking to his family, like, probably the whole time about it. I was in New York until Saturday. I flew home Saturday night, got home, next morning, came back to San Marcos. I literally had no time to talk about it with my family. He had all the time in the world, so I was like, no, we're talking about this. Like, this isn't just gonna be swept under the rug. Like, you literally threw my life away. I just like kept pressuring him to tell me. And eventually he did. I was like, I know that you slept with her, you know that you slept with her. I just want to hear the words come out of your mouth. Did you sleep with her? He's like, yes. After that, I like got the main information that I needed, but obviously I was like still devastated. And so I like left, and then like we were living together. So I had to live with him. But then on Wednesday of like the first week back of school, I saw shit that he was saying about me with his friend, the lead singer of the band. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is actually how he feels about me. Like, cool. Not only that, I saw that he had also taken a girl out on a date when I had moved back into the apartment. Like, he was full on dating again. And I saw a text with another one of his friends that was also my friend, where he basically just said like, man, hopefully like she's gone sooner rather than later. And my boyfriend was like, Lord knows she won't. And when I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm leaving. Like, there's no, like, space for me here. Like, A, for my mental health, and B, like, you don't even want me here. Like, so when that happened, the next day I decided I was gonna move because he had a show in Austin that night. And I was like, okay, perfect. That morning, I asked him about our cat Puddle, because when I was in New York, he had texted me saying that I could take Puddle if I wanted. And I was like, I need to think about it. Like, it's a big responsibility. That morning, I asked him about Puddle again. He was like, no, Puddle's mine and I want him. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, what if I want him? And he was like, no, he's like legally my cat. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna fight you on it. So then he went to his show, and when he did, my parents came down, we moved all my shit out. I moved back home for like a week. I moved into my new apartment this past week. I live with strangers now, but hey, my room's really cute and girly, so that's a plus. I literally like lost all my friends that were his friends. Obviously they all took his side, and the biggest issue is the fact that he says he didn't cheat on me. Even though like, A, I felt like I got cheated on, and B, like the way you handled everything, like it didn't want to be with me anymore, then you just say we're broken up. When I beg you like for days, like asking you to like give me a chance, you say we're broken up. You don't say I'm gonna think about it. Like, and you also don't say that you love me the same night that you sleep with somebody else. Maybe just a thought, food for thought. But yeah, now I'm just trying to navigate life being single. I haven't been single in 2.5 years. I haven't been single as an adult. But yeah, that's the story of how my boyfriend cheated on me and dumped me while we lived together and had a cat together, and how he took it all away from me in literally a day. Did not expect that, ever. Definitely sucks a lot. But hey, I guess I dodged a bullet. At least that's out of the way, you know? Thanks for listening to my story. It's pretty freaking crazy. Let me know if you think you cheated, because I think you did. Question of the day, did you cheat? Thanks for watching. Hope it was interesting. Hope you got some juicy tea. And yeah, have a good day.